if you actually consider the defining role that the National Eye Institute and Research to Prevent Blindness has played in supporting eye and vision research over the last 50 years, and acknowledge that David Weeks was literally one of a handful of individuals that were responsible for the formation of these organizations at their inception, then you can gain perspective on what the extraordinary achievements and the vision that David Weeks has, and of course, his lasting legacy on vision research.
He really brought to the National Vision Research Enterprise this really special blend of professional gravitas, personal relationships, and the imprimatur of scientific and organizational validity that really made us all better.
I have known David Weeks for 60 years and admired his actions. From his early associations with Dr. Jules Stein to his leadership of research to prevent blindness, David has made enduring contributions to ophthalmology and blindness prevention.
I feel a personal connection to David Weeks because my mentor, Ephraim Friedman, and David were really close friends, and they were both really passionate about trying to solve the puzzle of macular degeneration. F, of course, passed that on to me, and I've really been excited and humbled to pursue that legacy to try to improve our understanding of AMD and come up with treatments for patients.
I went out to visit him at his continuing care retirement community in Fairfield, California, and I just said thank you to him. It became clear to me immediately that the work I do at RPB is really built upon the shoulders of David Weeks.
The beginning of the National Eye Institute, that he felt that was the jewel in his crown, actually. And he talked about it as being his greatest accomplishment.
RPB had provided a generous grant that enabled me to establish my laboratory. And David and I soon became firm friends. David was a superb advocate for vision research.
RPB created the Residents and Fellows Forum, which was so important to the career development of many academic ophthalmologists. Since David's retirement, I have kept close contact with him by email for many years.
I had the tremendous privilege a few years ago of being at the helm of the AUPO when we celebrated our 50th anniversary. And I got to fly out to California and interview David as he gave a little bit of an oral history looking back over his high impact years. The giants of the time got together and they were able to go to Congress and successfully lobby to have the National Eye Institute. So that was begun. The AUPO was begun.
So he lobbied to create the National Eye Institute. And since then, we've grown to an $835 million annual budget. We funded the work of 8 Nobel Prize winners, and we've developed treatments for many diseases that used to blind people.
No matter where one turns in our vision research community, you'll see the remarkable touch of David Weeks. David's soft-spoken but deliberate manner made an indelible imprint on the scope and impact of vision research, both on the investigators and on those whose research we have impacted.
David was a wonderful, wonderful person, very kind and friendly. He was very, he and his wife Betty were very generous to my wife Carolyn and me when we first met them many, many years ago at an American Ophthalmological Society meeting.
The most important legacy any of us can have is in the impact we have on people. And David had an extraordinary impact. Under his leadership, RPB helped shape generations of research and academic leaders in ophthalmology.
David's personal and great interest was in helping young investigators launch their careers. He watched out for many young trainees who needed help to get a foot in the door, and that included me many years ago. On a personal level, I always relished seeing David at ophthalmology and vision research meetings and having his warmth and support, which continued right through my time as director of the NEI.
I've got to go back, 40 years. Here I am, a brand new secretary treasurer for AUPO, and I'm so green. I don't know what I'm doing, where I am, and who was the greatest resource to be there to hold my hand, to help me to navigate forward, but David Weeks, this sweet, lovely person who was involved in the very foundation of AUPO.
David Weeks was one of the great architects of modern vision science. I got to know David a little bit through my time on the AUPO board and through interactions with RPB. He was a wonderful human being.
When I first became a department chair, he was so supportive of helping to develop our research program and to provide a challenge and then unrestricted funding to our department.
Over 40 years, David and I had many professional and social interactions, all highly productive. Without his and RPB's ongoing support, AUPO would not have become such an impactful organization for academic ophthalmology. We are all grateful for his contributions.